I'm Todd Pattison. I'm the Senior Book Conservator at the Northeast Document Conservation Center, which is a nonprofit regional conservation center located in Andover, Massachusetts. The William Stanley Hoole Special Collections Library has materials of national significance, and the staff does a wonderful job in caring for them, but some of the items require invasive treatments to try to prolong their life that really require special handling and special care to make sure that they're going to be available for researchers in the future. So the CSS Tuscaloosa logbook has problems with the sewing, and you can see the sewing that's broken right there. This can all be put back together, but you wouldn't see the repair so much as you would see the object. That's the idea with conservation, is that you want to keep the story. You want to keep the artifact. This is an artifact that witnessed history, and it's important to preserve this because it's a direct contact with that history. This item was there, and so we need to make sure that we can preserve this for future generations. You have 5 senses. So when you look at a digital or electronic version or a screen, you get 1 sense. So there's no touch, there's no smell. You can't hear the crinkle of the pages and get a sense of what that's actually like. So this is a page from the diary of Sarah Hainsworth Gale. She was the mother of Amelia Gorgas. She kept the diary over a number of years. So this is her handwriting on the diary. These are her words as she put them down on the page. Unfortunately, this is quite fragile, which is why it's in this protective mylar sleeve at the moment. It would be wonderful to be able to put this back together in book form so that you would see the object that she wrote in. And this definitely gives you a sense of, what her life was like. This is a very large atlas which encompasses an index map that's showing you what the rest of the plates make up. And then each of the other plates was originally intended to be put together to make a large map. Now this presents a preservation challenge because it's now bound in a book. We could take this apart. This really has nothing to do with the original object. It has something to do with the object the way it is now because it's part of the history of that object. And you always need to balance what's happened to a piece, what's its history, what the story is you're trying to tell with the piece, how scholars are going to be using it. So if scholars are mostly going to be using this for the individual maps, then it might make sense to disbind the object, box this binding because it's part of the object separately, and then house the maps flat where researchers could much easier handle and use them. And one of the things that the Hoole Special Collections and the University of Alabama libraries as a whole are trying to do is to give you a sense of place, a sense of time, a sense of history, so that you know what happened, you know what those objects are like, you get that feeling of it all. We would never get that from a digital image. You would basically have to take whatever's on the screen at face value. And it's only by having the original in front of you where you can examine the paper that you truly understand what the piece actually is and the story that it's telling. In a move towards a use-driven conservation program, you make sure that the items that you're treating are the ones that your patrons, your staff, your scholars are actually going to be using. What are our options? What would we like to do for this? Having gone to the University of Alabama, I really understand the importance of the collections of the University of Alabama libraries to not only the state of Alabama or the region of the South, but to the nation as a whole, because it really shows the contributions that people in the South have given towards the history of the United States. And it's important to ensure that those items are available for future scholars so that that story gets told.